I was skeptical about this one at first. I mean, I've tried a few projectors over the years and most of them either looked washed out in daylight or needed a full hour of setup just to get a decent picture. But this Epson PowerLite L210SW actually changed my mind pretty quickly. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I set it up on my coffee table last weekend just to test it out. My living room has big windows and I wasn't about to close the blinds every time I wanted to watch something. Within 5 minutes I had a bright, clear image on the wall without any dimming. The 4000 lumens really do make a difference. It's not blinding, but it's definitely visible even with sunlight streaming in. That's the kind of brightness you usually only see in more expensive models, so I was impressed right away. One thing that surprised me was how small and light it is. I expected a bulky unit that would take up half the table, but this thing is about the size of a hardcover book and weighs less than a bag of sugar. I carried it upstairs to my bedroom in one trip and set it up on a shelf above the TV without any trouble. The short-throw lens means you can project a 100-inch image from just a couple of feet away, so you don't need a dedicated wall or a long cable run. I've used projectors before that needed 6 feet of clearance to fill the screen, and that's just not practical in most homes. I've been using it for movie nights, work presentations, and even video calls when I need to share my screen with a group. The 16:10 aspect ratio fits both widescreen movies and standard PowerPoint slides without awkward black bars. I plugged in my old Blu-ray player through the HDMI port and the picture looked sharp, colors were accurate, motion was smooth, and there was no fan noise drowning out the dialogue. I also tried streaming from my MacBook using the USB port, and it worked straight away without needing any extra drivers. That saved me a ton of setup time compared to some other projectors I've owned. Another thing I like is the built-in speaker. It's not going to replace a proper sound system, but for casual use it's more than loud enough to fill a small room. I've watched late-night shows with the volume up and it didn't distort or crackle. If you're using it for presentations, the audio is clear enough that people in the back of the room can hear without straining. I've also been using it for remote work lately. I set it up behind me during Zoom calls so clients can see my slides clearly while still seeing my face in the corner. The auto keystone correction means I don't have to fiddle with adjustments every time I move the projector. Just point it at the wall, and the image stays square without any manual tweaking. The only real downside I've noticed is the lamp life. Epson rates it at around 5,000 hours in eco mode, which sounds like a lot until you realize that's only about 2 hours a day for 7 years. If you use it more heavily, you might be replacing the lamp sooner than you'd like. It's not a deal breaker, but it's something to budget for down the road. The other thing is the remote. It's functional, but the buttons are a bit stiff and the layout isn't as intuitive as some newer remotes. I've accidentally hit the wrong button a few times when I was trying to adjust the volume. Still, it gets the job done and you get used to it after a while. Overall, this projector punches well above its price tag. It's bright enough for daytime use, small enough to move around, and simple enough that my parents could set it up without my help. If you're looking for a no-fuss projector that doesn't require a dedicated home theater setup, this one's worth a closer look. You'll find the link below if you want to check it out yourself.